Ladies and gentlemen, the long-awaited, highly anticipated conversation with Big Jim Leeker, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I want you to know that I know that you know Murphy's Law is in effect, but Jim, he's the royalty at here at Wales Certified, and just thank you so much, Jim, for...
That's okay.
Okay.
Kevin, thank you so much for the introduction.
All right, then. Ba-dum-bum. Have at it, Jim. It's the floor is yours, they say.
Well, the original conversation that you and I had was going to talk about the St. Louis Soccer Hall of Fame, which we will, but I'm going to give Wales Certified a scoop. On October the 21st, so it's a little over a month away, at the German Cultural Society, the German Cultural Society and the St. Louis Soccer Hall of Fame are going to have an open house at the German Cultural Society at 3652 South Jefferson on Tuesday the 21st. Doors open at 5:30. We're going to have complimentary hors d'oeuvres. There'll be a cash bar, but we're going to welcome Dagmar Eckel. Dagmar Eckel is going to be touring the United States in conjunction with the World Cup. Now, Dagmar Eckel is the daughter of Horst Eckel, who was the youngest member of the 1954 German World Cup champions. Horst also came to St. Louis a couple of years later when Kaiserslautern came to the United States, and they actually played Kudus in 1957. She will be giving us a talk about her dad with memorabilia, books, and stories that have with unpublished pictures of the Eckel family. And there's going to be a gentleman who's going to be accompanying her, Gerhard Merton, who was very familiar with the Hungarian team, with Puskás, who was on the team that Germany played in the finals.
Wow.
Yeah, and if people want to find out a little bit more about what this is going to be about, there's actually a movie called The Miracle of Bern that will be played that night also. Now she has the movie adapted to English, with English subtitles, but this lady is going to be touring the United States, and she wanted to make sure she came to St. Louis because of her relationship with the Kaiserslautern team and, coming to play against the Kudus team in 57.
Wow.
But, it's the rebuilding of the German soccer after World War II. So, it was, I'm sure there's going to be, tender moments that people were going to be talking about, but the German Cultural Society and St. Louis Soccer Hall of Fame are going to have that open house on October the 21st. So this is a scoop for you.
Oh, baby. Thank you, baby. Yeah. Well, I tell you, I have friends who are of German heritage, and they are proud from ear to ear right here, right now.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be a neat night. Now, what we have not set up yet, and I'm planning on doing that after we get off the phone. I'm going to be setting up a RSVP line, because we want to make sure that everybody is gets a chance to have some hors d'oeuvres, and not just 2 or 3 people. So and this is
you're not looking at me, are you, Jim?
No, this is going to be a really neat night, because the German Cultural Society is going to be pushing this also. So
Yeah,
yeah,
man. I mean, you think about the German heritage. I mean, they had to keep a low profile right around that time,
yeah,
and yeah, and they were all over the place. I mean, the farmland and this and that,
yeah.
and then the St. Louis. Now, are you of German descent, Jim, or are you an
I got
Irish?
a little bit. I have a
Okay,
little bit.
uh,
Yes, I have a little bit.
uh,
But my German heritage, it comes from Friedel Geiser.
exactly. I was
Yeah,
just going to say.
Friedel was my coach and really tutored me and helped me be the player that I am
Yeah,
or that I was.
yeah.
And he was actually on a German U-boat, and he was a prisoner of war. It's a great story
Yeah.
about freedom.
How
So,
how about the Beaver Mill area? Did that help you out with
oh yeah, yeah. The Beeville Mill where I grew up was it was a hotbed. On one side there was the Watterson Boys Club. Further south, the Immaculate Heart of Mary Parish with Wally Werner and Tommy Bokern. The Bokern family,
wow.
Werner family. I remember Mike Tucker. I was just oddly enough, I'm going through pictures, and Mike Tucker and Terry Mickler were on was it the 65 or 60, must have been 66 Kansas City Spurs team that won the
I'll
NPSL championship.
yeah, I'll
Yeah.
be.
Yeah. So Mike Tucker was a standout. I think he may have gone to DeBerg. I'm not positive, but yeah, I ran into that picture and I saw, hey, there's Terry. And I'm just going down the line looking at other players that I played against, and there's Mike Tucker.
Mike
So
Tucker. Wow. Do
yeah,
you know what college he went to by any chance?
no, I don't.
All right.
I
Well,
really
we'll
don't.
find out. But man, oh man, isn't that something?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Wow, wow, wow. I mean, what a team they had, man.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it was. Um, I wish I had the picture in front of me that I could throw some names out at you, but
Yeah.
um, I'm trying
Yeah.
to remember what
Pups.
the goalkeeper had a unique name.
Yes. Oh man, yes.
Ah, gosh darn it! I'm trying to remember what his name was, but it was kind of unique.
Yes. He was like
But
a place kicker later in the NFL, I believe.
oh, I'm not sure about that,
Oh,
but
okay.
it was yeah. I kind of remember Manfred Seisel possibly. It's
Yeah.
probably on the NPSL or NASL website somewhere. So
Where your German is better than my English. Okay. So here we
yeah, so
go. We're here now. You got some new stuff
yeah,
to
yeah,
lay out to the people of St. Louis that are,
right.
if they're accustomed to doing this and that, hey, there's something new for 2026.
Right. It's the induction class for 2026. It's going to take place on March the 12th, 2026, and the letters haven't gone out yet because we're moving. We're actually moving the venue to RiverCity Casino down in South County, Lehigh Perry area. Yeah. It's yeah. We tried making arrangements with Union Station, but just couldn't come up with a good date. And so we had a group from our committee that went out and visited all the venues that could handle our our banquet, and River City came up with the best proposal. And the one thing that one thing that happened last year, the further we got into the banquet, the more people wanted to come. And it got to the point where there was too many people for the venue at Union Station. They actually had to take out some speakers to make room for tables. And so a lot of people really didn't hear what the inductees had to say. So, at River City, it's going to be a little bit less than 800.
Holy
And
cow.
no doubt it will be a sellout because we have another great class, and we want to make sure that the class has first shot at the table situation. So if a family wants to have 5 tables, they're going to have 5 tables. They're not going to have 5 and not have an opportunity for their family to be there.
It's their night, isn't it, baby?
It is their night. And in conjunction with that, I've already had discussions with the Dunn family. I mentioned it to Ty Keogh, and we may actually have to flip-flop with the Future Stars, the Monsignor Meyer Team Award, the Jimmy Dunn High School Coach of the Year, and the Ty Keogh, Lori Kalupke Professional Players of the Year. We may have to flip-flop with them because we don't want to have, when I made flip-flop with them, maybe have the Coach of the Year every other year, or have the high school, the Future Stars every other year, or the Monsignor Meyer Team Award every other year. So it's not going to be a full, like we've had in the past, 10 or 12 years, where we had so many different awards being given out that we want to honor these. We want to honor these inductees. It's their night, and we don't want to have a room that's half filled when the last inductee is giving his speech. It's their night, and they should be highlighted the entire night.
Well, I guess the committee, man, they had some righteous meetings and everything. It doesn't come easy, man. These decisions, yeah.
And it's a labor of love for everybody.
Yeah, there you go.
We meet and we talk about these inductees, and the people who are on the ballot. And when it comes to vote time, you're pushing that we're going to have a great class. We will have a great class every year, no matter if we have 5 that are being inducted, 6 being inducted, or in this case we have 11. There was enough disparity in the vote that everybody's votes spread out throughout the ballot of 20 people.
Yeah, wow.
So we got 11 people who are being inducted this year, and so even if they each person says, okay, I'd like to have three or 4 tables, that's a third of the room already.
There you go, baby. Man, yeah. I'm telling you that it feels like it's a podcast in the making of how how this all sets up, because that's like you may have one day off after the night, but then it's every night until the next.
We're back at square one, and we're making sure that everybody who's going to be on the ballot is Hall of Fame material.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you have to, man. You you gotta put some underneath the rock, underneath the trash cans,
Yeah.
behind the trash cans to get some, firsthand. I vote for him. I refer him. Yeah, that's a magnificent. But it's so magnificent just to sit back and not knowing nothing from nothing. How many great, great soccer players came from this area all through the early life till last week or something? Is that
Yeah.
there's
I mean,
there's room
it's
for
unbelievable.
everybody.
Yeah. I honestly, there's the class of 2026. We're going to be close to 1,000 people who have been inducted into the Hall of Fame, and that's not counting all of the people who didn't make it or
Yeah,
who played the game
yeah,
and didn't hit the nail on the head when it came to um, uh, being a Hall of Famer. Just
yeah,
like not everybody's a Stan Musial. That's
yeah.
and not everybody is a Bobby Keel
Oh
or a
yeah,
Harry Keel
yeah.
or you know
And,
or a Jimmy Dunn.
yeah, and
Or
they would point out players that should be in that are not in. It's so
Yeah, and we
subjective.
we have that. Yeah, we have that situation too, where the gentleman who will remain nameless.
Yeah,
Um, he says, I did it for the love of the game. I don't need to be in the Hall of Fame. And he finally came around and says, can I put my application? Can I be renominated? I said, of course you can.
yeah,
You deserve to be in the Hall of Fame.
yeah,
And there's still people have slipped through the cracks.
yeah.
Uh,
Hey,
and there's nothing that we could do other than take your information and take it from square one.
yeah. Hey, Jim,
Yeah.
on a personal note, I want to say, and then overall, the highest form of praise is of flattery is imitation. And Big Jim Leeker, man, you have done
Yeah.
just a bang up job with the St. Louis Hall of Fame. That you got Perry Vandenbeck going around down in Tampa Bay getting the Hall of Fame down there. Congratulations to you.
Yeah, I mean that was once again, Perry was the catalyst of that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He he and Fred Sikorsky, both from St. Louis, um, moved down to that Tampa area. Fred went to from St. Mary's to University of South Florida
Wow.
and stayed in that area. And it was just kind of like, Perry, when Perry was inducted, he probably went back and says, we should have something down here. And it's not the Tampa Bay Rowdies Hall of Fame. It's the Tampa Bay Soccer Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
It's not Rowdies. Rowdies is a part of it.
Oh, yeah.
Tampa Bay is a hotbed for soccer themselves.
You got it.
So and a lot of that hotbed of soccer is attributed to St. Louis. These guys. St. Louis is. Well, I'm always going to call it the soccer capital of the United States. I can't. I don't care what anybody else says. But we may not be the capital right now, but we were pretty instrumental in making soccer in the United States what it is today.
Beautiful, man. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Totally agree. Well,
So
there you have it, Big Jim. You got you don't have a mini me. He stands shoulder to shoulder with you, Perry. down there in Tampa, you might get some others going around.
Yeah, well, I helped a Hall of Fame up in the Washington State area, and I'd have to look in my notes just to see uh, what their actual name was. But they asked me how did we do it in St. Louis, or how was it done in St. Louis? And I gave them the good, and I gave them the bad, and the things where we missed out on, and we just said, this is the best, this is the best that we have. But honestly, Kevin, we're constantly looking at changes to
Yeah.
make it better.
Oh
We're
yeah.
always looking, and I'm not sure how much more time you and I have, but I'd like to kind of go over the class of 2026,
Oh
so people actually know, because all that they've seen on our Facebook page is the plaque, of the people's names, and the induction date of March the 12th, 2026. So I kind of like to give everybody a highlight as to who the 11 people are in the class of 2026. And
absolutely, baby. You
I'll
want?
make I'll make it brief, but
Oh
I'll
no,
just go
you
them.
have all the time you want. Do you want to go alphabetical or it's off
Yeah,
you?
yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna go alphabetical. We're gonna lead off with Jenny Burton Anderson. Anderson's her married name, and Jenny was a high school All American, and she went to Merrimack Community College, where she was a junior college national champion. Then she went on to UMSL, where she was all region every year, and in 1995 she was All American. But she still holds records as of today for all time leading scorer, winning goals, most points. She was an Umbro All Star Classic, and she was inducted into the UMSL Hall of Fame in 2007. So Jenny Burton Anderson was is our first of our class. There
Nice.
you go. The,
Nice.
the second is Shane Patel. Shane Patel also was a high school parade All American and a CAA high school All American. Came through the Scott Gallagher organization. He originally went to SMU, and he was a freshman All American, and then he transferred to St. Louis U, where he was All American in '93, inducted into the SLU Hall of Fame in '98, member of the United States men's national under 20 team that was the 1990 gold medal Olympic festival champion. He actually moved up to the men's team in 1992, but he also went ahead and played with the Ambush, the St. Louis Knights, and then when he went to Columbus to play with the Crew in the MLS, he had a career-ending knee injury.
Mm.
So, but an interesting story about Shane is that when Brian McBride was in town for the Herman Award, Bill McDermott asked him, kind of give you a highlight. He says, "Okay, Brian, in your career, you've played at St. Louis U, you've played in the Premier League, you've played on a World Cup team. Who gave you the best service ball in your playing career?" And without skipping a breath, he said Shane Patel.
Wow.
Shane Patel gave me more opportunities than any other player in my playing career. And what a compliment that is from
Oh,
from
baby,
a guy like
yeah.
Brian McBride.
Yeah.
And and I might be speaking out of turn, but Shane said that he did invite Brian to come to the banquet. So if he works for the federation, United States Soccer Federation. So depending on what his schedule is, he is planning on coming in. But
Beautiful.
that would be kind of nice to have Brian there to support Shane. So,
Yeah.
the next one is Tim Barra, played on numerous American amateur teams in St. Louis. He went to the University of South Carolina. He was the team MVP, 3-time all-tournament team.
Wow.
First team he was all South, member of the University of South Carolina Veterans Alumni Team. He was drafted by the Tulsa Tornadoes in the USL. But as I mentioned in another interview with someone, is that everybody needs a Tim Barra on their team. Tim is just a hard-nosed player, and if you want to put him on the forward line, midfield, backfield, he'll be wherever you need him. He's that type of a talented player.
Yeah. Beautiful.
The next is Jackie Billett. Jackie Billett, she came through JB Marine, under 19 national champions. She went to the University of Wisconsin. She was Big Ten champion. She was All-American first team 92, 93, and 94. 95, she was on third team All-American. All-Conference team, Umbro All-Star Classic. She was on the United States Women's National Youth Team. And in 1992, she also was moved up to the first team, where she received one cap for playing for the United States Women's National Team. And she went on to coach at Illinois State and Ball State before returning to St. Louis.
Wow.
So Jackie Billett, another great player. So those are the two, Jenny Burton Anderson and Jackie Billett are the two ladies who are being inducted this year.
Nice.
Yeah. Next is Larry Julius. Larry came through the Bush Soccer Club, Flo Valley national champions with Mr. Sorber in '85, and then he went on to play a number of different indoor teams with the Kansas City Comets, the Hershey Impact, Atlanta Attack, the Kansas City Attack, and the Milwaukee Wave. He was NPSL All-Star in '91. He, too, was a member of the United States Youth National Team and the United States National Futsal Team that were world champions in 1991 and '92.
That's right.
And he went on to coach in different areas in the United States. He most recently came back to St. Louis to be a part of the Lou Fuse organization, and then in 2025, he moved over to Gateway Rush with Joe Reiniger.
Wow.
So Larry Julius is our next. And here's a name that's synonymous with St. Louis soccer.
What's
John Klein II.
Yeah, he is. There he is.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of playing with his father, John Klein, and John Klein the second, and then there's a John Klein the third, who's now, I'm trying to remember where he's playing in the USL, or he might be on an MLS second team somewhere. I can't remember, but John Klein the second started off at Duke University and transferred to St. Louis U. He was with the outdoor. He was with the Colorado Foxes and the Miami Freedom. Indoor with the Kansas City Comets, St. Louis Storm. He was a member of the NPSL champion St. Louis Ambush. But his in addition to his great playing career, he went to coaching at Columbia College, men and women. He had combined 18 NAIA appearances. For the men, 2 Final Fours and 2 Elite Eight. And then for the women, he had one Elite Eight. He was 11-time Conference Coach of the Year. In 2025, he moved to SEMO down in Cape Girardeau.
Wow.
So, not Cape, yes, Cape Girardeau. Yes, SEMO's down in Cape Girardeau. That's right. So he's the women's coach down in Cape Girardeau. The next one is Shane McManus. Shane also was. There you go.
Yeah, personal pleasure.
You know Shane?
Yeah, Sean
Sean.
McManus. Yes, know the
Sean.
family. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, he's a North Sider up there at the and with the Bombers. So he's
Right.
Yeah, he's pure North Side.
Right. Yeah, he was part of another Pete Sorber National Championship team.
Yeah.
He in 71 they were national champions, and in 72 they took third place. But like you said, the Bombers, Pat Kenny's, Pepsi, Club Irish. He was a Corey League All-Star. He went on to Western Illinois University, where he was regional All-Star in 74 and 75. And, Western Illinois was once again a hotbed of pulling St. Louis players.
Oh, absolutely.
So, that's, it's another testament to the North Side.
There you go.
Yeah. And as a South Sider, you'll cut that out. You'll edit that out, won't you?
Well said, Jim.
Okay. Next on the list is Irv Pizak. Irv was amateur level. He played for CSMAC, the Bush Soccer Club. He was one of Denny Long's cronies when Denny had the Bush Soccer Club, and he actually worked for the brewery, but he went down to Busch Gardens to help run Busch Gardens. They started a Busch Gardens Tampa team.
Wow.
And he was instrumental in that. But his claim to fame, he was a Quincy University NAIA champion, twice runner-up, first team All-American. He was the team top defender. There's a student athlete award that he received. It's called the Matt Hanen Best Student Athlete honoree. And he coached at all the different levels, from CYC, boys and girls, to select and men's senior in Quincy and in Tampa. And then in 1989, he was actually the executive vice president and general manager of the St. Louis Storm when they were trying to do a resurgence.
Right. Yeah, man.
Yeah. Next on the list is John Stone, another Scott Gallagher Bush Soccer Club product. Under 19 McGuire Junior National Champion. Bush Soccer Club Open Cup second place champion. Came in second place one year. Narco. He played for the Narco Club, Budweiser over 30, and Kudus over 30. His standout years at SIU Edwardsville. He was all Midwest. He's still listed as number 11 in SIU Edwardsville scoring. And according to their website and his bio, it says that he recorded the fastest hat trick, 3 straight goals, in October of 2020 against University of UIC. I should have written that down. He scored at the 28:58 mark, the 30:26 mark, and the 31:13 mark. Now, I find that kind of hard to believe, but it's in the record books. It's at SIU Edwardsville.
Wow.
So they centered the ball off, and they centered it directly to him, and he beat everybody on the team and went down the score.
Welcome to the Hall of Fame, John.
Yeah. Yeah, and he went on to play with the St. Louis Knights, the Rockford Thunder, Wichita Wings, Milwaukee Wings. He, the pro team that he was playing for at the time, and I'm not sure exactly who it was. It might have been Milwaukee. According to John, he says that the pro team refused to let him be called up to try out for the United States men's national team, which I find that, yeah, it's sad, when somebody can highlight one of their players as being, a national team player. So,
Wow.
uh, but then he went on to coach also. For a couple of years he was the Midwest Olympic Development Program assistant and head coach for under 14 teams, under 14 boys, and just a great guy and a great player, great
Beautiful.
player.
Beautiful.
So now we're down to two more. Tom Strunk. Um, Tom was a member of the Scott Gallagher soccer program, 5-time Missouri State champion, 2-time regional champions. He actually played for me for my Kudos team 2 or 3 years um, before his job basically says, "Hey, I got to start working a little bit harder at my job." He is the CFO at Worldwide.
Oh,
You know,
man. Yeah.
yeah, Tom is a great individual. We could probably elect, and it's, we inducted Jill Olwig from Worldwide a couple of years last year, and I'm trying to think who it was the prior year who was inducted was also Worldwide employee. You know, when they started that, you know, it was like St. Louis University, who's who, at Worldwide, and they're all great soccer players,
Yeah. Oh,
all great
yeah.
soccer players, and rightly so. Some of them are from North County, but but Tom was after his sixth game as a freshman, he was the starting. He was part of the starting 11 every year at St. Louis University. He was
Wow.
all conference twice, all Midwest once. He was drafted by the St. Louis Storm, but I don't think he actually played. He may have played or been on the roster for 1 year, but like I said, he had more responsibilities as a CFO for Worldwide than anything else.
Wow.
Yeah, and then the 11th inductee is a name that's near and dear to the St. Louis soccer community. The last name is Traina, Nick Traina, who's the, who's the son who's the son of John Traina. Nick played on, once again, a South Sider,
Yeah.
numerous South Side teams, uh, South City Club, Ziegenheim, Cuda Soccer Club, St. Ambrose, Chase Park Plaza. He went on to play at UMSL. He was the NCAA Division II Final Four once, regional finalist twice, MVP, 2-time MVP, All Midwest 2 times, and he was the Tim Smith honoree in 1979. And he was drafted and played indoor with the Springfield Sparks, and he was their MVP player honoree
Wow.
the years that he was up there. So that's the class of 2026, Kevin.
May I stand up and applaud?
Yeah, and I'm so proud of these people and their commitment to soccer, and rightly so. They should be highlighted with an induction into the St. Louis Soccer Hall of Fame.
Yes. And I just found out that in history, the the word history, the last five letters makes the story. And so when you talk of the history, hey, it's okay, but let's get the story. And you make it a personal mission to highlight the players and make that whole I guess a month. You got this and that, where
Yeah.
everybody goes when you get in, and you make sure you wear your jacket and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, hats off to you to make the story a live story. It's
Well, yeah, I thank you very much. I can remember Terry Mickler coming to me when I first became president, and he kind of, leaned in my ear and he says, "Hey, thanks for continuing the story." So you hit the nail on the head.
boom, boom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, man. I mean, to tell you, there's a lot of stories, and
yeah,
and those are the only ones you can put on the air. We don't
yeah,
worry about the other ones. But man, it's a family, you know. That you have the player, but he or she has the extended family and friends and the neighborhood and the club and the schools and this and that. It what a just a ripple effect that is, and
yeah,
everybody always presses the button for the elevator to go down for the other people to
yeah,
so they can come up.
yeah. And once again, St. Louis soccer players, not only the Hall of Famers, but the good people, the good players, they're very, very conscientious about talking about themselves. They really don't talk. They don't like to talk about. They're
Yeah,
very humble people,
yes, they
and
are.
they don't like. And that's what I'm saying. We got this one individual who says, "I did it for the love of the game. I didn't
That's
do it
right.
for the notoriety."
Yeah.
And here, and honestly, I'm going through pictures, and here's a picture of him, this gentleman kicking a soccer ball with it at that time, President Reagan. And I'm going, my goodness,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Yeah, man. And that I have found that to be so much true. There's a lot of people I would have liked to interview, and they said, "No, man, no what," and they're very
yeah,
yeah, and it's like the WW2 veterans, if they don't share their stories, you never hear about it.
yeah.
Yeah, and I have a burning question I've been wanting to ask you. You remember telling me that you have a whole bunch of players that you have no histories of.
Yeah,
Has
yeah.
that has that some private eye, the new age of history? Have you found anything out other than
I was able to find a couple. And I don't have, when I have the time to do it, I'll do it. There's a couple of people. One lady at the from the Hill who works at the Italian Heritage,
yeah,
uh, their office.
yeah, right
I've
on
given her I've
McNamee.
given her a few names. There's a gentleman in South St. Louis, South County, who is actually a true historian, but he actually had to go back to work, so he so he doesn't get a chance to do his historical work too much. But he was able to find me a couple of people.
Nice.
Uh, yeah, but the one place I haven't been able to get a chance to go over to, and I hope to do it, um, and that's over at SIU Edwardsville.
Wow.
That's where Bob Gelker took all of his records and all of his uh, clippings and such.
Wow.
Dave
Wow.
Lang's
Wow.
Dave Lang was over there with Mr. Gelker, and he says, yeah, there's a treasure trove of information over there.
Sure is, man.
But most of the people who I don't have any record of are all in the that were inducted in 78 and 79 when over almost 300 people were inducted posthumously.
Beautiful.
So these are people who were inducted that probably played in the 20s and 30s, that once again, they may have been great players, but their name didn't get into the highlights of articles in the newspaper. And I'll give you one from North County. Do you ever hear of the Bunny Russell Tavern?
I was always an altar boy at church. I never went to the bar.
Well, there's actually two Bunny Russells that are in the Hall of Fame. I think that's what the name is.
Wow.
But I could not figure out. So I don't know if a person was inducted. Like I said, I have no idea why there's two, and they're in different years.
Beautiful, baby. The mysteries.
And I actually at the St. Patrick's Day parade in Dogtown. I gave a gentleman my card. He says, "I know the Russells." When I went over to, he kind of waved to me, and I said, "Yeah, what can I help you with?" He says, "Hey, my grandfather is in the Hall of Fame. His name was Bunny Russell."
Wow.
And I gave him my card. I said, "I need to talk with you. Call me, please."
Yeah.
He never did call me.
Oh.
And that's been 5-6 years.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Man. Yeah. Oh, they had a great florist. Russell's florist was
right.
Great. Yeah.
And I just recently came upon a picture of that same team. And if you go to our website, I was able to put a team category in there, and I have it broken down into 10-year increments. And I think they were probably 30 or 40, in the 1940 era. But it's a great picture of Russell's florist.
Yeah.
And there was one gentleman who's in the Hall of Fame that was on that was in that picture.
Yeah, they have a shop across the road from Beeville Mill.
They did have a Russell's florist down there also. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, Jim. Now, just I'm going to give you a shovel. Some shovel knowledge
Okay.
is that there's North County, and then there's North City. So when you mention you hit me upside the head when you call me North County.
Okay.
Okay. Now
you're above the Highway 40 line.
Yeah. Right. Oh, beautiful. So here we go, Jim. We have this is one of the best episodes we ever had at Whale Certified, is that we offer to say, hey, Jim, whatever you want to say to who you ever want to say it to, for as long as you want to say it for, this is your opportunity.
Well, I just want to, once again, I want to thank Kevin and everybody who's associated with soccer in St. Louis. It's a great community. People make comments about me wearing, the Hall of Fame, and anything that I wear in public has the St. Louis Soccer Hall of Fame emblem on it. And I'm proud of it. I'm proud to be representing the Hall of Fame, and I don't mind talking about it. I have grandkids that are playing that are going to be great players in their own right. But bottom line, I just want to thank you and what you do and all the coaches that are currently coaching the St. Louis kids, and to try and teach them the right way,
Yeah.
of playing the game and respecting the game.
Right.
But if I could find, finish up, I'll mention, reiterate the banquet date being March the 12th at River City, and then the open house with Dagmar Eckel. I think this is going to be a night to remember for this lady who's making St. Louis one of her stops in her tour of the United States. To talk about soccer
Well,
and her father. In the rebuilding of the German soccer program after World War II. So.
well, I feel like there's a podcast just to look at this date to get to inform everybody. So
Yeah.
stay by the phone. I'll be calling you.
Okay. I'm going to be taking off, and I'm going to be going up to get a second, maybe a second number that we could use to do an RSVP if anybody's interested in coming to the open house at the
Nice.
German Cultural Society.
Oh
So,
man, yeah. I'll be looking forward to it. I got
yeah.
it on the calendar for sure.
Okay.
Well, Jim, her.
Thank you so much.
Oh yeah, Jim. Anytime and every time you come in the front door, the side door, or the back door, it
Okay.
doesn't matter. Yeah, you
Yeah,
have
maybe I'll come on again once we send the letter out and try and figure out just how many extra seats we're going to have available after we get a good count from the inductees.
absolutely,
And it'll be
absolutely.
and hate to say it, it's going to be first come first serve.
Oh yeah,
And it was where did I? Oh, it was at the Tampa Hall of Fame. They got hit with the same situation, and they had to tell them, "I'm sorry, it's sold out. We don't have any more tickets." And it would be like, but I know I'd like to be there. I want to be a part. But, and Barry would tell them, "I'm sorry, it's sold out.
yeah,
We don't have any more room."
yeah,
And
yeah. Hey man, I tell you, I just gotta ask you because it's. I mean, people say, "Hey, get me one of those." Your programs for the St. Louis Hall of Fame dinner is magic, man. It's magical. I mean, people they keepsake forever, with all
yeah,
the ads and the stories and the pictures and everything.
yeah.
You guys do a bang up job on that.
Well, like I said, we keep on trying to make it better every year, and we
All right then. Well, Big Jim, and I'm can't now. I mean to tell you, man, I get goosebumps with this episode. This was a good one, and every moment was special. So, Jim,
well, thank you.
yeah.
Uh huh.
So, Jim, there it is. You are Whale Certified Hall of Affinity, man.
Okay.
You and the entire organization. You brought in the whole organization. Come on in. You brought the whole organization. The St. Louis Hall of Fame is in the Hall of Affinity and Whale
Yeah.
Certified. Yeah. So the best to you and yours, okay, Jim?
Okay, Kevin. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
All right now. Bye bye.